Hi, I'm Bella Perez Rubio, PumaPodcast, and you're listening to Teka Teka, Balitang Thinking, Hindi Breaking. In this episode,
it is likely that we will see another variant emerge, and there's already on the horizon one that looks suspicious that it might start to evolve as another variant, and that's the BA 2.75.2.
we talk about the new strain of the Omicron variant that has caught the attention of leading experts, including the one you just heard, Dr. Anthony Fauci, US President Joe Biden's chief medical advisor.
So as you know, Omicron is dominant worldwide. About 99% of all sequences shared of Omicron. There are about 200 sublineages of Omicron that we're tracking at the moment.
That's Dr. Maria Van Kerkhove, the World Health Organization's technical lead for COVID-19, speaking at the media briefing on September 22.
Other ones that we have on our radar are indeed BA.2.75 and further subvariants of that, as well as BA.4.6 and this BF7, which is a subvariant of BA.5. The point being is that this virus continues to circulate at an incredibly intense level around the world.
While she emphasized that the BA 2.75.2 strain is just one of about 200 Omicron sublineages that the WHO is currently tracking, there's a reason she was being asked about this one in particular. Multiple studies conducted by Swedish, English, Chinese, and South African researchers have found that the Omicron subvariant carries two mutations that allow it to better lock onto human cells, making infection all the more likely. It also demonstrated a robust capacity to circumvent the immunity gained from vaccinations and previous infections. This could render antibody treatments less effective against this strain as well. The Chinese researchers from Peking University and the National Institutes for Food and Drug Control said BA 2.75.2 showed an unprecedented growth advantage and the, quote, most significant ability to escape immunity. It's worth noting, however, that all of these studies are still in preprint, which means they have yet to be peer-reviewed. In the meantime, the researchers urged close clinical monitoring of cases tied to the Omicron subvariant. This sentiment was echoed by Dr. Maria Van Kerkhove, the WHO's technical lead for COVID-19.
So this is why it's really important that we keep surveillance activities up. We're working with our member states right now to right-size the response for COVID-19 across all of the pillars of the response, including surveillance, and making sure that those who need to be tested are tested so we can track the variants, but also those who get tested can be put into the clinical care pathway very early so that they can receive the care that they need.
The latest figures as of this recording show that BA 2.75.2 has been detected in at least 55 countries and makes up less than 1% of total COVID-19 cases globally. But this may be an inaccurate picture because according to the WHO, tracking COVID-19 cases globally has become all the more difficult as of late.
Our ability to track variants and subvariants around the world is diminishing because surveillance is declining. And with surveillance declining, the numbers of tests are declining. The numbers of sequences that are being conducted and being shared is declining. And that limits our ability to assess the known variants and subvariants, the ones that I've just mentioned, the ones that you've just asked about, but also our ability to track and to identify new ones.
We'll pause here. But when we return, we look into the efficacy of vaccines against this new Omicron strain.
We expect future variants to be more transmissible. We expect future variants to potentially have more immune escape, which may render some of our countermeasures not as effective as they are right now, but we don't know if future variants will be more or less severe.
The uncertainty described by Dr. Van Kerkhove is pretty much where we're at. It's unclear if existing vaccines will be as effective at neutralizing this new Omicron strain. The efficacy of the newer vaccines, also known as Omicron boosters, meant to target variants BA4 and BA5 against the BA2.75.2 strain, is also unknown. Human studies for these newer vaccines are still ongoing. Peking University researcher Cao Yunlong, a lead author of the Chinese study, tweeted that data from mouse vaccinations show the newer vaccines may not be as effective against convergent variants, which include BA2.75.2. But in the Philippines, where BA5 is now the predominant subvariant, authorities are making moves to acquire Omicron boosters.
We have already started our negotiations. Even last month pa po, we were able to talk to the manufacturers of Moderna already. Pina-finalize natin ngayon yung term sheet natin with them. No? The term sheet would mean na ilan yung kailangan mo, ano yung magiging arrangements natin. So naandyan na po yan. Nandun tayo sa point na yun with that specific manufacturer. Yun naman kung sa isa naman na tayo po ay continuing our dialogue with them. We have upcoming meeting this coming week.
That's Department of Health Officer in Charge Maria Rosario Vergere in an interview on One News's The Chiefs last week.
We're looking at the first quarter of next year, not within this year, because these negotiations will take long. And then, of course, budget also, we need to prepare that for us to be able to procure. So matagal po itong mga negosasyon na ganito. Marami pong mga pinag-uusapan at saka maraming agreements na kailangan marating.
Even when the boosters arrive next year, though, there won't be enough to cover the entire population.
Kaya nga po ngayon dito sa Omicron booster or this new generation vaccines nga, hindi po kami mag-order ng entire eligible population because we know that the uptake has been low for these past months. So ang ino-order lang po namin muna would be enough for us to be able to vaccinate at that length of time na pag dumating sa atin, we can be able to prioritize already those who would want it pero hindi po yung entirety of the eligible population.
And that was today's episode of Teka Teka. Again, I'm Bella Perez Rubio. This episode was produced by Kat Ventura and edited by Presh Capistrano. If you like this episode, share it with a friend or two, and don't forget to leave us a 5-star rating on your podcast app. It really helps get the word out about our show. At para sa mga mahilig manood sa YouTube, PumaPodcast na rin po kami doon. Just search Puma Podcast and subscribe to our channel. Thanks for listening.